boom, and it's like 30,000 views like in the first
Wow.
like 3 days. And
Yep.
so I think that these kind of wins as well,
Yep.
showing those to management, saying, hey, much would it cost to get this kind of impression reach, and also these are the right type of customers and we're getting the right kind of engagement, and it's like,
Mm-hmm.
let's spend our time on what is the narrative that we want to
Yep.
communicate and get involved in that. And you're actually not going to have to spend as much on ads on the back end to convert. I mean, there's so much data out there that said if people know your brand, they like your brand, they're going to buy from you, and you just got to use the ads to remind them. But if you're trying to use the ads to like full life cycle, get them from awareness to purchasing, it's very expensive. And not to say that
Yep.
brands can't do it, but I think that all this turnover with AI is forcing people to rethink and start over from the ground up. And I just think it's such a good thing. Now, I'm finding that a lot of brands aren't making that change fast enough
Yep.
and are just
Yep.
getting are getting smashed. Like,
Yep.
and now everybody's like, oh, we're digitally transformed. We understand that we need to be posted on social. And it's like, well, now you got to figure out AI. So good luck.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
and so I don't know. I'm a constant learner, and I love talking to people and hearing what they're doing. And I mean, it's, you have to, if you're running a business, understand the impact and how technology and social media and all this stuff fits into it,
Mm-hmm.
or you're really running blind. I mean, the
Yeah.
world has changed so much. I would tell you, I won't speak the name, but I sat down with the head of AI and a director at like a large like Fortune 500 yesterday, and we were talking about prospecting. Okay, we were talking about sales.
Mm-hmm.
We were talking about
Yep.
prospecting. They're not allowed to use AI. Okay. They're not allowed to use lead gen. They're not able to have any homegrown assets. They're not able to build landing pages. And I said, like, what are y'all doing? And they're like, well, we're calling. And I go, can you use LinkedIn Navigator? Nope. I was like, so what are you doing? Well, the old school way. We're calling people we know. We're setting up meetings. We're going to meet them, and we're closing deals. And they only eat what they kill. And I'm like, y'all
Whoa.
are scaring me. Like, I couldn't handle that environment anymore, to know that there's people competing with you that have AI and everything else leveraged
Totally.
up to challenge you. And these big brands that are sitting on their logos and the brand that they've developed for whatever years, like I forget the name of the tool. It was like a vibe coding tool. Wix just bought them. I think they
Oh.
sold for 40 million. It was a one person Israeli guy that created this whole
Yeah.
thing, and Wix bought
Yeah.
$40 million. Just
Well,
boom,
what's
one
what's
person.
what's Lovable? Lovable's, I think they're under 50 people and they're 100 million ARR, and they've done it in the
Yeah.
fastest time in the history of business. Under 50 people, 100 million ARR. So
So
you want to
so
talk about a valuation on top of that? Like,
yeah. Well, think
crazy.
about the businesses that are trying to go head to head with these
Totally.
guys. Like
Yeah.
like
I mean, it sounds like
there's
the company that you were talking to yesterday, based on
something
that
22,
behavior.
base 22. The Wix bottom
Okay.
I think
Yeah.
base 22.
Ah,
Yeah, they
okay.
go head to head with Lovable. Yeah.
But I think
So,
about the Fortune 500 that you just mentioned. You don't have to
oh
mention
yeah.
them, but I'm like, that to me sounds like Blockbuster right before it went away. Like, that's crazy, because there is that story about Blockbuster where it was like, people love coming into our stores. They love the serendipity of running into their neighbor in the aisle while they're browsing for a movie. And then Netflix was like, you know what people actually like? Being naked in their bed watching their show, binging it. Like, that's actually what people want, right? So it's so interesting to see like that behavior is still being incentivized at these huge organizations, to your point. And then we're having the rise of these little giants. And I think that's actually going to be the future. We are going to see this little giant thing where we are going to have, a 10-person billion-dollar company. I think we're going to get to the point where it's a 1-person billion-dollar company, or like a 3-person billion-dollar
Yeah,
company with all of this technology.
oh, I think that that's coming, and a lot of people have
Yeah.
kind of predicted that. I mean, I think that like right metric gives you those superpowers, right? Like, it gives you that data set to figure out, like, I'm not just gonna whatever the ad the saying is, like, I I spend 100% of my budget, and I know where
Only
50% of
know
it
which
went, or
50%.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, or something like that. Which 50% worked, or whatever it is.
Yep.
But I mean, like, if laser focused, where your customers at, what they like, how to communicate with them, and how to position yourself as a brand, and then get in front of them, like, these are superpowers. These are legit
Mm,
superpowers. Like, people, I even like, I'm talking about AI. I'm like, you have like a PhD in every single, like, whatever, sitting next to you as your co-pilot, right? As
totally.
Microsoft did a good job of, like,
Yep.
at everything you do, like, that changes the game. Like, it
Yep.
changes the clarity, right?
Yep.
And so now it's like, okay, well, I'm working in like N8N right now, and I'm like, okay, what tools, what access to data, what APIs can I plug in this thing to get even more data to just absolutely crush it, right?